Perfect. Everybody here out there, I know that was last question was a little choppy. Everybody good? Okay. All right, we'll start with questions. Please hit the raise your hand function and please mute your line. We'll start with David Ubben.
Shelton, when did you with Coach Pruitt go back to, and can you kind of walk us through what that was like, sort of getting that first call at Akron, and then how you kind of ended up here?
David, can you start your question over? It jumped in and out. I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Sorry about that. Yeah, just basically when you and Coach.
Can you hear?
Anybody else?
Okay, we'll go back.
So hold on one second. We could go back to David, but if anybody else want to raise their hand. Blake?
Yeah, Shelton, it was just as recently as a few years ago, you were coaching in the the high school ranks. I guess, what were you telling yourself then, and did you see this as being possible for your future of within a few years, being coaching at an SEC school?
Well, I'm doing that time coaching high school ball. I'm always the kind of person you keep your feet, your mind, your heart where you're located at. So I just want to do a great job everywhere I've been. And just work hard, and I was blessed with great players that just needed guidance and coaching hard. And through recruiting, you meet a lot of guys, and I always got confidence the way my guys play at the next level. And when I came to my practice, how well I done, and I was just blessed. I didn't see this, but I'm grateful for it, and I'm going to make the best of the opportunity and do the best I can here at Tennessee to make my landmark as outside linebacker coach for Coach Pruitt.
We'll go to Patrick Brown, followed by Brent Hubbs.
Hey, Sheldon, when you left Tennessee a couple of years ago, did you think you'd be back after one season? And kind of what do you think you maybe showed when you were in that quality control role here in 2018 that kind of prompted Coach Pruitt to call you back when he had an opening this offseason?
Well, I just felt like when I took the job, the mindset of grinding and doing my job and showing him that I'm not scared of work. I can work. I also can coach and make relationships with kids. And leaving to go to Akron, I didn't expect to come back in a year, but I'm blessed and grateful. But that year at Akron, I just had to show Coach Pruitt that I can recruit off the field and get guys from the state of Georgia around the country to go to Akron to play football. So it's a blessing to happen fast, but I'm ready for the challenge, and I accepted the challenge when I got the phone call from Coach Pruitt.
Shelton, two questions. One, what do you think makes you an effective recruiter? And two, what's it been like trying to develop a relationship with a new group and a position group and a bunch of guys that I'm sure you knew as a quality control guy a little bit, but now you're their coach? What's it been like trying to develop that relationship through the crazy times that we've been in here the last 6 months?
One, I think recruiting is about relationships. Touching the guys, touching who touches them, and showing the guys and being consistent. And always talking to them, reaching out to them, building a relationship with them so they can trust you and open up to you. And I tell anybody, being a high school coach, you recruit your own players every day in the hallway, in the cafeteria. So I was kind of gifted with recruiting a little bit. For us, building a relationship is no different. The guys had to see you in a different picture, but the guys knew when I was a quality control guy that they can come to me. I got things done. I didn't do nothing out of the rim of what Coach Rump wanted or Coach Pruitt, but I was direct and straightforward. And when I became the lead coach, I just built a relationship with each guy one at a time to let them know. Because guys want to know what you know and how can you make them better. And once you can be detailed and show them that you can make them better and you care about them, they all buy into it. And I'm lucky the guys are buying into me and taking my coaching right now.
We'll go back to David Ubben and then to Vince Ferrara.
Yeah, so what does that linebacker rotation look like right now for you guys, and what have you seen from that group so far?
Right now, we lost a great player in Darryl Taylor. Right now, we're playing a lot of guys. We haven't really dialed in on a number one, number two, or number three guy. We're just playing the rotational guys. DeAndre Johnson doing a great job. Kevon Bennett's doing also a great job. Roman Harris is a force to be reckoned with. We're getting a lot of work out of out of John Mincy. We moved J.J. Peterson over there to get some reps at times. And the young guys, Tyler Barron, and Marvin Joseph are doing some guys. So we were just by committee right now. We're just filling it out and just focus on the details of getting it right. Because as Coach Pruitt said, we're going to play the best man, the best person. As right now, we're committed. We don't have a Darryl Taylor. We're just trying to hunt a Darryl Taylor.
Vince?
Coach Felton, in your opinion, what are some of the most important traits to have success at that outside linebacker position? Because obviously, as you know, there's so many responsibilities that come with it.
I think a great trait of a good outside linebacker, you got to be able to adapt and adjust. You got to be able to rush the passer and be athletic. You got to be able to play the run at the point of attack. And every now and then when we ask to drop in some kind of scheme, we got to be able to drop. So it's a lot of things you got to do, but a very athletic, physical guy is the kind of traits we're looking for. And I tell a lot of people when they ask me, I love basketball players. If you look at basketball players, they can do a lot of different things. And those are the kind of guys I like to have that are athletic and can do anything and not just a robot.
We'll go to Wes Rucker, followed by Dan Harrelson.
Yeah, Shelton, when you look at the, I guess the move of John Mincy there, was he a guy that made because there was a need there for numbers, or did y'all see something in him as a player that made you think he's a bigger body guy, but he can do this?
I think Coach Pruitt and Coach Ansel also thought about numbers going into the spring because we were low in numbers. We didn't have a lot of guys. But John Mincy is a very athletic, big guy who can play the jack into the boundary and do a lot of things for us. And he flashes the ability to play on the edge as a pass rusher. And the key point, he can set the point of attack against the run. So I think Coach Ansley and Coach Pruitt saw something in him before I got here, and he's flashing those signs now during camp.
Dan?
Coach, you mentioned Kevon Bennett. Talk about him kind of going back to 2 years ago when you were on staff and really to now with his growth and his development, he's really turned into a really good football player.
I agree with you. The biggest thing that I've noticed and I've been here, his maturity of the details. He's more locked in and focused. He's a natural pass rusher. He can be one of the best pass rushers in the conference once he locks himself in and focus and be consistent day in and day out. He's starting to develop into a leader in our room, leader on this team. And I think the sky's the limit for him. And we need him with this 10-game schedule in SEC. We need him to perform every game, day in and day out.
We'll go to Jordan at WATE, followed by Blake Topmeyer.
Shelton, you mentioned Tyler Barron and Morgan Joseph. How would you kind of assess their development into college athletes, and particularly in that linebackers room kind of early on in this fall camp?
Any freshman is going to be tough in this defense that Coach Pruitt and Coach Anderson is running. It's a lot of things going through their young mind. They kind of look everywhere. But once they hone in on their skills, you can see the flashes of the things why we recruited them and why they were so highly recruited out of high school. I mean, Marvin Joseph, his first step is electrifying. He gets off the rock. Tyler Barron is a powerful guy and very smart. But, it's playing within the system and learning the system. Right now, it's a little difficult at times, but you can see the flashes of the guys getting it, and they become, with more repetition, the better they're going to get. But I think there are two bright young men that's going to be bright for our future here.
Blake?
Yeah, Shelton, can you kind of take us through how you were able to make the move from Chris County to Chattanooga? Was there a relationship there, or how were you able to make that jump? And then also, second part of that, how were you able to make the jump from Chattanooga to Tennessee as an analyst? Was there someone you knew there, or how'd you make that transition?
Well, make this a long story short, I didn't know Coach Arth. He recruited my high school. At the time, at Chris County, had a couple of 5 stars that Coach Pruitt and everybody in the country wanted, and a couple of guys. He was there on a scheduled visit, and Georgia, Auburn, and somebody else came in and was trying to kind of bump him. And I told those guys that I have 3 SEC players, but I have 7 Division I AA players. So I showed him the respect that he needed, and he got us another man, not because of the logo. And we just talked on the board and built a slight relationship through recruiting. And once the season over, he lost his linebacker coach to the Patriots. He gave me a call and wanted to interview me and offer me the job. Getting the QC position, knowing Coach Pruitt for a long time. I worked with Rush Prost. I knew him through Coach Prost. I knew him at Georgia, Florida State, because I've been blessed with a lot of players in my career to be able to play in the SEC, so we built that relationship. And he just gave me a call when I was at Chattanooga and had a position open, and it was a no-brainer. To be on this staff, to learn this defense, to be a part of this tree, how could you say no to it?
Last two questions really quick. Patrick Brown and Austin Price.
Sheldon, you mentioned Roman Harrison being a force. What makes you say that, and kind of where do you see him going, and what has he shown you guys so far this preseason?
I mean, Roman has all the tools. He's athletic, he's powerful, he's quick, but he's learning to play the position. By trait, Roman is a D lineman, but he's learning to play on the edge, and I think he's going to be a force in rushing the passer for us on third down, and also playing on first and second down, because he's pound for pound one of the strong guys on the team. The biggest thing with Roman is processing and learning the game, which I think he's doing a good job of it. He's getting better and better with repetition. He's getting better and better. He's one of the guys we're going to lean on. Like I said, once again, we're going to play by committee until that one guy stands out.
Austin?
Shelton, you talked a minute ago about recruiting being so much about relationships. You come in at this odd time where you didn't get to go out on the road in the spring, obviously still in a dead period. How much of the fact that, part of your recruiting area is kind of your home state and you're part of your home state, how much does that help because you know a lot of the people down that way?
Well, it helps a lot. I mean, it's like anything else. When you go somewhere, you know people, and you know the lay of the land, it helps. And then me being from the Georgia area and coastal Georgia, I know a lot of high school coaches. I know a lot of people. So I'm able to reach those guys to let them know that who I am. And the biggest thing is about vouching for you. When somebody say he's a good person, he's a good recruiter, he's a good coach, now the kid, the parent pays more attention to the head coach. So I would say my roots in Georgia helps me a lot, being able to recruit in the state.
All right. Thanks, Coach.